right now, I want you to do something for me, if you would. Look at the person to your right and say, "You inspire me." Now look at the person to your left and say, "You inspire me." Now look at me and say, "I," loud, "inspire you." You do. You inspire me, man. This is a lot of fun. I'm Jensen, Vice President of Sales and Marketing North America at Room, and such a pleasure to be here. I want to talk about a couple things. I want to talk about marketing. I want to talk about things I've seen over the last several months, talking to major brands and agencies, the barriers, how they're feeling, different things about what can we do to help them break some of these barriers, get them started in this industry, and help them to get moving on things that are not that difficult, right? We love what people like Nike and Gucci and all these guys are doing, but we also need a lot of other brands to be in this business for us to succeed long term, right? So that's one thing I'm going to talk about. I'm also going to give you a little bit insight into my journey because I think it really sets things up and I think you'll connect with it a little bit. So let me tell you a little bit about Room first. Our mission is helping people easily create, manage, and produce 3D experiences. That's what we do, right? So we have an all-in-one platform, and you're able to go in, create 3D, AR, VR experiences, whether it's spaces, whether it's events, whether it's 3D commerce. You can go in and create it. CMS system where you can sit in there and be able to change it, update it. We're really all about evergreen experiences. I think this is very important for a lot of companies. We want you to be able to create something and not just create it and it's over with, and then you have to go out and do it again, or have the expense of having to go out and talk to designers again and again. We want you to create something. We want you to be able to change it. We want you to be able to update it, pull in and out products, change colors, whatever you want to do. We want this to be an evergreen experience because it's about building community and collaboration, and that's what we want to do. So we're getting some people seem to like us. We are actually based in Jena, Germany. We have 5 offices now, been around about 6 years. And then we have a US office, of course. And Forbes said it best probably, democratizing the metaverse. That's really what we want to do. We really want something that everybody can get involved with. It doesn't matter what size your company is. You can get involved and start doing these things. So let me tell you a little bit about my journey. Anybody know who this is? Know what movie this is from? All right. Cool. War games, right? So back in '83, when I saw this movie, I was a young pup, okay? I was really young. I'm telling you, really young. I saw this movie, and if you don't know it, Matthew Broderick, he's a little hacker. He hacks into his high school, changes his grades, changes his girlfriend's grades, and then he's playing around. He thinks he's playing this simulation of nuclear war, a game. Turns out he hacked into NORAD, and they're working simulation, and our friends, the Russians, think we're really shooting off missiles, and da-da-da-da-da, it goes like that. You can imagine, right? So that really inspired me because I went home, I got the Sears catalog. Any of you remember? Okay, some of you, I can see in this audience will know this. Sears catalog, this thick, couldn't wait to get it. Went through it and found the Commodore 64. I got it, and of course, I got the coupler because the coupler allowed me to start my hacking career, right? And how many of you remember this sound? Oh, that beautiful sound of being able to connect. Oh, I'm in. I'm hacking, baby. Here we go. Okay, we can turn that off. It wasn't that great. So from there, college, this was my first job really in the internet space when I got out. Internet.com, what a great name. Did anybody ever go to e-commerce guide? Oh yeah, webdeveloper.com, browser watch, server watch. Yeah, it was crazy. Internet.com, which was really great until this happened. 2000, I was in Austin, Texas, where I am now, and the bubble burst. So I thought, oh, this cool industry I jumped into when everybody told me not to do it, now I'm in trouble because I started seeing things like this. I was like, oh my gosh, what am I going to do? But I said, I don't care. I'm going to stay in it. I love this stuff. I'm going to keep going. All my friends bailed out. I said, no, I'm not doing it. I'm going to sit out. My wife said, Casey, we just got our first house. We haven't been able to pay the mortgage in 2 months. You've got to get a job. So a recruiter called me and says, hey, Michael Spalding from New York. He still gives me a hard time about this. He calls me and said, Casey, I have a job for you. It's in Dallas. I know you don't want to go there, but listen to me. You get to help open an office, one of the first regional offices, and you'll get to build a team and get management experience. And I said, okay, send me the website. So he sends me this. And I go, Google. It doesn't look like much, Michael. And he said, trust me, it's a good move for you. So I trusted him and met some of the most smartest people, greatest people I've ever worked with. Don't tell my room people that because they're the smartest now. But today, I wanted to tell you that to give you perspective, that a lot of the stuff we're going through now, and going to continue to go through, as we're building the foundation of this industry, we're going to have some of these times. People are going to doubt it. People are going to say things like they already are. But we can believe and we can go forward and things are going to be amazing, but everybody in this room believes in it. Everybody in this room is excited about it. But we also have to excite others. Our brands, our agencies, our clients. For me, that's a lot of brands and agencies. And it's up to us not just to excite each other and talk to each other all the time, but we have to learn to get out there and talk to others. So the world has changed. A lot of change over the last couple of years. And that has caused even more sort of, I'm stepping out on the line a little bit, but I'm sort of afraid to go over it, right? There's a lot of things, but the world also changing, like it seems to do for humans. It has pushed innovation faster and faster than ever before. This is what some of the clients I speak to sort of think of the metaverse. It's sort of a scary, dark monster. They know, oh, this could be cool, but I'm not sure what it is. It's dark. I don't know what it could be. But what I have found is that all we have to do is we have to sit in their shoes, not in our shoes, in their shoes. We got to understand what they're feeling. We have to shed some light on it, because if we shed light on things, things look a little different. It's still a monster, right? But he's sort of a cool, cuddly monster that we probably want to hang out. I mean, the metaverse is a monster, right? But we can deal with this kind of monster, and they can see what it is, and they can see how it can affect their lives and influence their business and what they're doing. They're thinking to themselves, is this a megatrend? Is this hype? They're hearing this in the media some, right? We dealt with this back with smartphones when, I think it was BlackBerry when they said, nobody will want to touch their phone. Nobody will want to use their phone to type like that. And I know there's probably some Crackberry people in here that loved it. But they said that, and what happened? And this was before COVID, but look what happened. We love touching our phones now, all the time, too much probably. Then in '94, Time Magazine said, the strange new world of the internet. And we're sort of in that mode right now, right? It's sort of strange. But I think we've gone a little bit further because look at Time Magazine. Look at our boy, Matthew Ball, which if you haven't got his book, get it, read it. He's awesome. I want to be Matthew Ball when I grow up, for sure. And I know you're saying, Casey, you're older than Matthew Ball, but in the metaverse, I am younger than Matthew Ball, and I'm 10 pounds lighter, so there. So how can I get started in the metaverse? These are the questions a lot of agencies and brands are asking. They're asking, how can I get started? And also, what do I start with? I think that's even a bigger question in some cases. Well, for us, I found that helping them understand in their terms, in their words, what it is. Maybe it is Metaverse as Web 3D. Some industries, Metaverse is sort of a dirty term. It just is right now. It's too big, it's too long off, they can't see the foundation being built, the pieces of the puzzle that are happening. So you have to talk to them in their language, in different language. And maybe that's talking to them about digital spaces, virtual spaces, maybe that's Web 3D. But it all starts with 3D, so it's true. Set the right expectations. There's a lot of screwed up expectations out there right now, right? So a lot of the people who are making decisions at these brands and agencies have been watching their kids play Xbox for 10 to 20 years, right? They think everything is supposed to be like that. So they think these worlds should look exactly like that. And hopefully, one day, when our technology catches up, they will look that way. But we have to set the right expectations, and we have to set also the right expectations if they come to us and say, dude, I want to do what Nike's doing. Well, yeah, everybody does, but you don't have the budget for it. So we've got to be able to help them understand what are practical things we can do that fits with their goals right now, that can help them, because these people also are going to want some results, right? We may think, hey, we're in this new thing, Metaverse, yeah, same with the internet. We don't have to have results. Just run ads, do this. But people like me have been hammering them for years now, analytics, data. I was in ad tech for a long time, analytics, data. And now they want to be able to see that. So we have to start thinking that way and start figuring out ways to be able to fit into their world. We think at Room that accessibility is the key. A lot of brands, if they're not a fit for Roblox, right, which a lot of them aren't, then there's not anything else out there that has an audience that's scaled what they're used to scaling, what they're used to doing. So we've got to the opportunity is for them, a great opportunity, to build their own community. Start building community with their customers. Start engaging with them. That's a great place to start. That's a great place to start testing. And then as things build out and grow, there'll be more and more opportunities to go at some type of scale. Find your community. Again, if the community's there, great. But let's not stop there. Let's help them build their own community. Let's help them. Maybe it's their loyalty programs if you're a hotel. Maybe it's a VIP customer base. Whatever it is, customer segments. Let's help them start building their own community and going from there. And I think we'll be a lot better off. Discover the most relevant business cases. Of course, this is one of the big things that they ask for, right? That we have to help them we have to help them understand what business cases they should even be looking at, right? We have to understand their business. They don't know. Most of them are like, I don't know what business case I should be looking at right now. I don't understand this. So we've got to be able to help them with relevant business case. I'm going to show you a few examples here. So this is Pookie, which is a children's bike, one of the biggest children's bike companies, popular ones in Europe. And they wanted to be able to show off their products in 3D, show off their specs. And one of the biggest things they wanted was to be able to have AR so they could put it into their living room and they could have it full size where they could see, will this fit my child, right? Nobody likes coming to Christmas as a child, and your bike is like this, right? Or your bike is like this, right? So you don't want to do that. You want to be able to do it right. So that's one thing that they really want to do, and they've had lots of success with it. Deutsche Telekom wanted to be able to show off their IoT devices and how smart home devices are working for them. Fashion's hot, right? So in this case, we were doing some volumetric capturing in one of our studios to be able to do some stuff for a fashion tech event in Berlin. And then why not attach a shopping site to be able to do this, to have the shopping segment, to be able to go in and actually buy some of the stuff on the models in the store, be able to see them in 3D. And we know the increase in sales is happening because of 3D. We also know that the rate of returns is drastically going down because of it. Or you're a marketing person at a company, a bioscience company here. So BD came to us and they wanted to be able to build customer trust and education. show off their labs, show off some of their equipment. It can be for internal, for training and sales. It can be external. But it really opens it up so they can see, what are we doing? What experiments are doing? Maybe talk to one of the researchers that's in here. You can do all kinds of things like that. Again, in this instance, it's really about customer experience. How can we help with customer experience? When you're standing in a store sometimes, whether you're waiting to get your phone fixed or whatever, you can be sitting there for a while, right? How can we do engagement and be able to help them? Or prior to them getting the store, being able to get them to be able to look at products, be able to get specs, be able to understand things. And company events. We have an events platform. During COVID, we did a lot of events. But we're not stopping there because all of this goes together. If you're a company, like let's say the last one we just looked at, BD, they want to be able to have their sales event for the year, so they want to tie into events as well to be able to do that. Or festivals, of course. If you're customers, let's get them together. Let's collaborate. Your employees, let's get the collaboration. Collaboration is the key to all of this and what we're doing as we build this for the future. And don't just showcase your brand. We're doing a lot of showcasing of brands, which is great, but let's showcase our products too. Eventually, things are going to have to be sold in this industry for brands to continue to put money into it. So we've got to prepare for that and start looking at that. And create sustainable, collaborative, evergreen communities. Again, I'm big about evergreen communities. Let's build something that we can have year-round. Let's change it. Let's alter it. Let's keep it updated. But let's build something that everybody can interact with, whether it's your customers, your distributors, your franchise holders, whatever it might be. Let's do something so we can build that relationship. And to build an experience where there's something to do. It drives me crazy, and I'm sure some of you, when you walk into an experience and you're like, oh, VR experience, wow. And you're like, what else do I do? I'm sort of bored now. I'm going to leave, right? So you don't want to be, I think I've walked into a club and you don't want to be the high school freshman prom guy, right? Sitting in the corner where there's two people on the dance floor. It's weird, and people don't understand some of the reasons from a technical standpoint why that happens. You don't want to be this guy, right? Yeah, I think something like that. He dances better than me. Again, he's a little lighter and better looking, but that's all right. So we also want to bridge the real world with the virtual world. This is really cool. So we've been talking to a lot of retailers, and being able to have what we call this portal, to be able to walk through it and walk into a virtual world. For a retail installation, these can work really cool, events, things of that nature. And there's Hans, our founder. Hey, Hans, how are you? There's something about our brain. We're used to walking through doors, right? When we walk out the doors out here to the beach, we walk through this door and there's this beautiful beach. And your brain goes, yeah, it's amazing. It's the same thing. Right now, I think bridging that world really helps people understand it and get to it a little bit better. And once you're in it, we got to update the content, right? You need a CMS program like we have. You got to be able to update that content, keep it going, keep it fresh. You can keep people coming in and out of what you're doing and constantly build that evergreen community. And this is really important to me coming from ad tech like I did. We've got to start developing metrics. Yes, some metrics might transfer over, but these agencies and brands, I'm telling you, they're not going to mess around for long. They're going to want to understand what's going on. They're going to want data. They're going to want metrics. And we have to start. We have a chance now to work with these guys to build the metrics of the future. And that's what I tell brands. Why don't you build the metrics of the future? What do you want to see? Let's build them together. Not just tell us what to do or we tell them what to do. Let's do it together. Test, test, test. This is the best time in the world. If you have a brand or somebody that's saying, I don't know what to do right now, test. Get in there, build something, test it, start working with it, invite your loyalty audience, invite a segment of your audience, start testing these things and figuring it out. You will be so far ahead. Look at the mobile business. When people are like, mobile phone, I don't know if I should get in the mobile game, I don't know, and then they were way behind, right? So you've got to start testing now, and you can do that. Now this is where I see us in this room. You know, the yellow brick road, we see it. we're running down it, we're excited, the metaverse, oh, we're running to the metaverse, we can't wait to get there. And we see it already. We're there in our minds. We can visualize it, right? But the customers and the brands are really about right here. They're sort of like, oh yeah, yellow brick road's cool. You know, I don't know what that is. It's sort of strange. Should I go this way or should I go this way? And that's us as an industry. We do a great job to each other, right? We do a great job on LinkedIn. We're sharing stuff. We're talking to each other. We're teaching each other. We've got to start taking that outward to the customers more. We've got to start educating them. We've got to start helping them to understand. We've got to be in their shoes and be able to understand what their needs are, where they are, where we can start with them. So thank you so much. This was fun, and you guys are great, and man, this is a great conference. Thank you.